Hey, hello again, folks. It's been a while. Scott Travis here in the Sports Den for Scott Travis Sports News, and this is going to be my 2014-2015 Boston Bruins season preview. Before I get started, I want to give a big shout out to all of my followers on Scott Travis Sports News on Facebook and at Scott Travis SN on Twitter. Thank you very much for following me. Folks, it's been a long off-season since the Bruins, the President's Trophy winning team with the Vezina Trophy winning goalie, Tuukka Rask, and the Selke winning trophy center, Patrice Bergeron, finished up a very disappointing 7-game series, losing Game 7 at home to the Montreal Canadiens, our bitter rivals. So, didn't leave a good taste in anybody's mouth. And it's been a long off-season. I know a lot of us Bruins fans I've interacted have been upset with everything that's been going on. And also the lack of the preseason games being properly covered and televised. But in any event, here I am. It's been a while. Let's go over where we are. Bruins are coming in. A lot of changes. Jerome McGinley's gone. He had a good, productive 30-goal season for us in 1 year, but he got a 2-year deal from Colorado, so he's gone. We'll have to fill his spot. He was number one wing on the first line, dated back to last year. Sean Thornton, the heart and soul of the team. Multiple winner, won a Stanley Cup with Anaheim in 07, also won it with us in 2011, 37-year-old, just turned. He's moved on to the Florida Panthers. He's going to be sorely missed in the locker room and in the community. Hopefully Sean comes back to the Boston area, which I think he will when he's done. Backup goaltender Chad Johnson has gone on to sign with the New York Islanders, so not a big loss. He was very productive in the games that we had him here in Boston when he in a backup role of Tuukka Rask, but he's moved on. And then the big shocker, the tough one that's a little bit tough for everybody to take, was Johnny Boychuk just being traded to the New York Islanders on Saturday for 2 second-round picks and a conditional third. Because of the cap, the Bruins are tight up against it. You certainly could call into question some of management, Peter Chiarelli in particular, some of the people they've signed, some of the lower roster players that have been signed to really lucrative deals for third and fourth line players. You hate to see Johnny Boychuk go. He brought everything you wanted in a Bruin. He played it hard. He could drop the gloves. He could shoot. He was good in his own end, and he stepped up his game in the postseason. He's going to be sorely missed. And as Chiarelli said himself, the Bruins are not a better team right now. I guess it remains to be seen if they're able to flip those picks or some other prospects into some players that will help this team before the trade deadline. Coming into this season, folks, the Bruins are coming in. There's a lot of youngsters in the mix. We got some injuries to report. David Krejci is going to miss at least the first 2 games. He's out with an unknown injury. It's supposedly mid-body. It's not supposed to be that serious, but he's out. He's not going to be in the lineup tonight. And Campbell is also out of the lineup. So we'll have to see what happens with those players when they can get back in, but in the meantime it opens up some roster spots. Players like Ryan Spooner, Craig Cunningham is going to be in the lineup, Bobby Robbins at 32, presumably taking the Sean Thornton spot. I'll give you the rundown overall as to what the lineup looks like. It's a little bit different with Krejci being out. It looks like the first line is going to be the Marchand, Bergeron, Riley Smith line is going to serve as the first line. And then Lucic is going to be playing with Ryan Spooner and Matt Frazier, who came up last year and looked pretty good in the playoffs, scored a big goal against Montreal. Then you got Chris Kelly, Carl Soderberg, and Louis Eriksson as the third line. Soderberg and Eriksson were pretty productive last year when they played together. And then the fourth line is veteran Danny Paille, who can do it all as far as penalty kill. He'll be a responsible player, and you could see him moving up into other lines depending on how those lines perform. But it'll be Paille on the left, youngster Craig Cunningham up from Providence at center, and Bobby Robbins, the story 32-year-old veteran minor leaguer, is going to get the start at right wing. The defense pairings, similar to the postseason as far as Chara and Dougie Hamilton. You got Dennis Seidenberg scheduled to play with Adam McQuaid, but that could change. You never know. Bruins have been kind of floating around Barkowski in that spot. And then Torrey Krug and Kevin Miller as the 5th and 6th defensemen. So again, rosters are going to be changing tonight. The Bruins are in action tonight. The home opener against the Philadelphia Flyers, Wednesday, October 8th, 7:30 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. And then they're right back at it at Detroit against the Red Wings tomorrow night, Thursday night. So I would expect some fluctuation in the lineups. Tuukka Rask expected to be the starter. Nicholas Fedberg, the backup, but Malcolm Subban's also been brought up from Providence. So we'll see how it pans out over the next few days. Maybe the Bruins haven't totally decided on who their top 2 goalies are going to be in Boston, but I would expect Subban will be the starter in Providence, who get their season underway on Friday. We'll be talking about them another time. But in any event, folks, with Bruins, disappointing end of last year, President's Trophy, in the big scheme of things, doesn't mean a damn thing, really. I mean, it really doesn't. Lost some players. Johnny Boychuk traded. We'll have to see how this plays out. The Bruins, because of Claude's system and because of Tuukka Rask and Ned, are going to be in the mix. They're most likely going to make the playoffs. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, if they get off to a slow start, they make the proper adjustments. But most likely be in the playoffs, have a good record, and if it comes together and they can add to wherever areas they need it before the deadline, Bruins should be able to make a run. The East is not that impressive. We saw Montreal. They have our number a lot of the time, and they beat us, and then they just laid down to the Rangers, and then the Rangers were no match for the Kings. So the Bruins, from where they are today to winning the Stanley Cup, if it's going to happen this year, they got some work to do. Those Western Conference teams, Chicago, L.A., even Anaheim, even St. Louis, those are teams that just happen to run into the Kings and Blackhawks. Only those 4 teams collectively are better than I think anything in the Eastern Conference. So it'll be wide open. The Bruins, it's time to see what you're going to do. You got Chara at 37. You got Bergeron and Krejci in their prime. We'll see what happens. We got some young talent, some speed, and we'll see how it goes. But I'll be with you guys all season long. I'll be posting videos on YouTube. So YouTube and Facebook or Scott Travis Sports News. You can follow me on there to catch up with all the action. And again, on Twitter at Scott Travis SN. Thanks for watching. Thank you to all my followers. Go Bruins. Let's hope we get another good season. I'm just glad hockey's back. Thanks for watching. I'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.